Alright, what's happening everybody? I'm your man Akeem and welcome to today's vlog. I'm here to talk about an interesting topic in college football and what we have been seeing over the past couple of months and the changes in these conferences, mainly the BCS conferences, like the Big East. They just picked up TCU from the Mountain West, so TCU is going to join the Big East next season. And in the Pac-12, we all know about Colorado and Utah joining them, and Nebraska going into the Big Ten conference, and a couple of teams losing from the Big 12 conference, which was pretty bad. Nebraska and Colorado, but they might lose some other Big 12 teams later in the future unless the Big 12 picks up more teams later on in the season or for the future. Now Texas A&M, they're no longer part of the Big 12. They just recently joined the SEC conference and they'll be part of the conference play next season. So the Texas A&M Aggies are no longer part of the Big 12, which is a scare for the Big 12 because it's a powerful school. Now the Pac-12, the Pacific 12 Conference, they're trying to pick up University of Texas, Oklahoma State, and Texas Tech, but they ended up turning down these schools mainly because the Longhorns, they have a Longhorn network and they're not trying to share any of the revenue to the other conference schools to make it equal, and I think that's unfair. The Texas Longhorns mainly focus on making more money and building this Longhorn network. Now this is a little bit of an interesting topic because with all these changes within these conferences are building, they're showing more teams within these conferences. Like the Big Ten, they now have 12 teams, and they might pursue more teams. The Big East, they just lost Syracuse and Pitt, who are now part of the ACC conference. So the ACC is now a super conference like the SEC and the Pac-12. Pac-12 is still trying to pursue other schools, like I said before. They might even make it to a Pac-16 conference. Now, one thing that I'm concerned about all these changes and all of these super conferences that might turn out to play is the formula of the FBS system, meaning how would the formula move forward into the future? With all of these teams, let's just say the Pac-12 for an example, if it becomes the Pac-16, this is going to be interesting because during the season, most of the teams play 11 or 12 games of the regular season play. But if you're part of a Pac-16 conference or a conference that has like 14 to 16 teams, how would you have time and fit other non-conference schools in their schedule? Like an example, like the ACC just picked up Pitt and Syracuse, and at the end of the season for Clemson Tigers, they play the South Carolina Gamecocks for their rivalry. Now, how would they fit these non-conference plays into the season? Because having so many conference teams within the conference, it kind of builds up a little bit of a difficult situation because, like I said, if you're playing 11 or 12 games, that means, let's just say a 16-team conference, that means at least 4 teams will not be able to play. And plus, if you include other non-conference plays, that builds up more teams that you're not going to play within your conference during the season. Like I said, the Pac-12, if it becomes the Pac-16, that's 16 teams. That means a good handful of teams will not be able to play each other during the season, which is pretty bad. So this blows a little bit of concern for some of these conferences, especially the independent schools like Notre Dame and most recently BYU. I think if these super conferences just continue to grow, I think these independent teams need to join the conferences. Now, another thing that I'm concerned are about these BCS conferences like the MAC, the WAC, and the Mountain West. With these big conferences other schools joining these big conferences, how would they fit like I mentioned before, how would they fit on playing with these non-conference schools like the MAC conference? I don't think they're going to really have much time to face these weaker schools. So I really think that the FBS is a little buckled up a little bit, and with having like the MAC and WAC these weaker conferences not getting a good opportunity to face the BCS conferences if they continue to grow, I don't really think they should be part of the FBS system. I think they should have their own league in which they can contend for a national championship, another division in college football. That's just my opinion, and this is just a little something that a couple people had in mind and asked me about, and here are my opinions. Now, the next time you're going to see me is tomorrow, Wednesday, which I'm going to give you my Week 5 selections and key matchups of the college football season. Thank you for watching today's vlog from Sports News Insider. I'm your man, Akeem McCall. Be easy.